Hey everybody, Adrienne Everheart here with you, and I brought my husband, Jeff, along with me.
Hello.
So wanted to chat with you this morning because I had made a video recently about ways to be feminine and how to feel feminine. And one of the things that I let you girls know about was that we actually sleep in separate bedrooms. And and we got a lot of questions about this because some of you felt like, oh, if you love each other and you have such a strong relationship, you should be sleeping in the same bedroom. And that's just really not, how we feel about it. And we got so many great questions from it that I just wanted to share with everyone kind of what you had to say and go over a little bit of some notes I have here about feminine and masculine energy. You might need to lean in just a little bit. There you go. So the first thing that that we got asked was, a lot of girls said, "Well, I need a lot of physical touch. I need a lot of physical touch in my relationship."
No problem.
and and so basically they were under the assumption that we actually don't physically touch each other or have some sort of romantic relationship. And I wanted to just keep in mind that that's really a good example of masculine energy, which is, I have rules. Sorry to block your face there,
No,
Jeff.
it's all right. You can block my face. It's fine.
But it's really an example of, like, I have rigid rules that society has told me to follow, that literature has told me to follow, or whatever it may be. So it's just something to understand that feminine energy is more about freedom. And freedom is, I can allow my partner to have distance from me or space from me. And, if I feel scared or if I feel nervous or whatever it may be, embrace those things that I'm feeling. So I just want you, if any of you have any questions about, autonomy in a relationship and what it means, I want you to go ahead and ask them. I've got Jeff here with me. He is great at answering questions. And just a couple of things we wanted to go over with. I'll let you kind of take it from here if you want.
Yeah, I think the first thing I wanted to say, and when you did that video and before you launched it, I knew that it was going to draw a lot of response and a lot of questions as to, well, how can that be? How can you not sleep with your partner?
Mm-hmm.
I think sleeping with someone traditionally kind of means that you're being deeply intimate, and we're talking about simply sleeping together.
Right.
And we're going to get into a lot of the reasons, but I just wanted to kind of say that I think that sleeping with someone or sleeping together has traditionally meant deep intimacy. And this doesn't mean that you can't have deep intimacy. In fact, I think it's very much the opposite.
Right.
I think in our marriage, I think it creates a longing and an intimacy because we're not sick of each other. Where I'm not, tiring. You're not getting a bad night's sleep because I'm snoring, or I'm not upset because you're getting up early and I needed to sleep in, yet you woke me up. I mean, there's so much to go over, I suppose. But
basically what we're saying is, like, being intimate and being really close and sharing that bond. It's not about going to bed at night, because it's, especially during lockdown, a lot of you are just like right on top of each other all the time. And having your own room and your own space is really healthy to have, because quality sleep allows me to be a better person in the relationship. And it also gives us time at night. I wrote in one of the comments that I feel like my bedroom at night is like my own little apartment. I have my bathtub in there and my music and lots of books and things to occupy myself with. And then you've got stuff, in your bedroom and outside of your bedroom.
sure, and I think currently, like when I come into your bedroom at night and I give you a foot rub and we watch a movie together or an episode of The Office or something, we have some really nice time. It's John and Yoko time. We're spending a lot of time. We might spend hours in bed together,
Especially on a Sunday.
especially on a Sunday. Exactly,
Yeah.
long sleepy Sundays, spending just time in bed together. It might be 2 p.m. before we get up.
Yeah.
That's wonderful bedtime. But I think, like at night, if after we've done these things and you're very tired and I let you sleep and I say goodnight and I give you a kiss, I might, if I was sharing your bed, I might not be ready to go to sleep and I might want to read. Well,
Or your music room.
or my music room, but I just feel like if I wanted to stay in bed and read, I can't do that because you're needing to get some sleep.
Right.
So I have a room to go to where I can read, and I will often read before bed. So,
And I will wake up. I have a kind of a weird clock going on in my body, and I wake up sometimes around 4 a.m. and I read, or I do like a little bit of work or something like that, and that would never work in a marriage, you know. So.
And we have slept in the same bed before,
Oh, for sure.
and you know, I think a lot of people do, and I get that. But I think of all the disruption that has happened in my experience with doing that.
Yes.
You know?
So
and
kind
it's
of
not
a
healthy
funny
for
story.
it's not healthy for either one of us.
Yeah, kind of funny story. When I first met him, I was definitely in my masculine energy, and a big part of masculine energy is fear. You know, feeling like I gotta fix it, I gotta be on all the time, I gotta make, you know, keep him entertained all the time. And so the opposite of that is love and healing, and that's feminine energy. And so I would go to bed at night, you know, with Jeff, and this was in our first year of our relationship. And as you know, we went through 3 breakups, and we were both over 40. And so this is especially true for a lot of guys that are kind of set in their ways, and a lot of women who are set in their ways. And you really need your space, but you still want to get married. You still want to have that companionship. But anyway, we'd go to bed at night and I'd get really stimulated. And it was one part fear, like I need to keep him entertained. I need to let him know that I'm amazing all the time. It was like one part that. Why are you giggling? I hear you. And then another part was, I found out I had a dust mite allergy, and this is just kind of hilarious to me, because I knew something was happening to me at night, and sure enough, I found out that I had a dust mite allergy, and they could stimulate you. They can actually stimulate you. So, had to do a lot of stuff in my room to keep it dust mite free. And that is not necessarily the case in his room. You know, he might have one of his kitties sleep in the bed with him. He might want to do his bed a completely different way. I mean,
I fidget a lot at night.
yeah.
That's not good for you because you're a pretty sound sleeper. I can snore sometimes, and the breathing started to be a problem in terms
Right.
of, you know, so instead of like, you know, having a lot of anxiety and trying to fix these things that are fairly natural, you know, we found that when we split our bedrooms, it was wonderful.
It was
And you know what?
amazing.
My bedroom is on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
We're very close to each other. She can knock on the wall if there's like an emergency, or, you know, I keep my phone on so she can call me if there's an issue and she can't, you know, get up to
Oh, I holler
contact me.
for
So,
ya.
you know, I don't
Like
know.
if I have a foot cramp and I need some Gatorade in the middle of the night, I holler for you. The other thing that really I think is, again, this is about creating distance and space from a man in order for masculine energy to get activated and pursue you. Masculine energy has to get recharged. It has to have time away from the feminine energy source to recharge. You might think that sleeping with your guy and giving him great sex every night is going to keep your relationship really strong, but what happens is he doesn't get that really important time to recharge. Now, one person just said, I love snuggling all night with my man. Well, that's wonderful. I mean, if it's working for you, don't stop doing it. However, if you ever want to try, because this is the next thing I want to talk about, it creates a different routine in your relationship. So the routine is, you know, you eat dinner together, possibly you watch a show together, you go to bed, you sleep your 8 hours together, you get up in the morning, you're with each other right first thing in the morning. I don't know anybody who's in a great mood in the morning. I'm not.
Well, and we're different in the morning too.
Uh-oh. I think a car alarm's going off. Just hang tight with us. I love live video.
Oops. Yeah, right? Live.
But it creates like this different routine, and we are different in the morning. And so I get up when I want to. Sometimes I get up before him. Sometimes you get up before me. And it is a great, you know, it is a great thing. And as far as snuggling, let me tell you, are we short on snuggle time?
No, no, not at all. We get our snuggling in. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we are lucky that we work from home and that we're together a lot during the day. I think for couples that aren't together a lot during the day, maybe sleeping together does make sense. And as you said earlier, I think it's important to note that we're not advocating that everybody do
No.
this. We're saying why it works for us and why it might be a good idea to think about it, depending on your situation. But are we short on cuddling time? Heck no. We get it done all the time.
Yeah, yeah. And this isn't about avoidance. Someone just wrote, they said, well, when my husband and I started sleeping in separate rooms, that was the end of their marriage. Well, you know, it's actually something I recommend my clients do when their relationship is starting to fizzle. Because you don't want to go to bed at night and be like, I want this person away from me. You know, you want to be in a place where, you know, I can tell we're having distance. I can tell we're having space. And this is if you're in a troubled relationship. And just say, you know, I'm going to create my own little girl room. You don't have to tell the guy this. I want you to just do it. Create your own little girl room where you can go and be a girl. And this is going to be a place that he's going to be curious about. It's going to have things in there. It's going to have smells and comforts and decorations that he does not have, or that you guys don't have in your bedroom together. And so this becomes kind of like him visiting you at your apartment, you see. And this is something I suggest people, if you're in trouble with your guy at home, create your own little room. A man has to have space from you to miss you. I cannot stress this enough. It is biologically, it is chemically, it is hormonally. Jeff actually, when I first met him, one of the first things he told me was he had a friend that was I guess, some sort of something scientific field. And he took a road trip with this guy, and he told him all about how a man's sperm count goes lower. Their testosterone drops the more they're around a woman. They have to have time away from you. All right. So it doesn't have to be the end of your relationship. And I'm sorry that happened to you, Amy.
It's really, it is, again, it's about comfort, health, attraction.
Yes.
I think, our situation, we keep these things, we keep the attraction alive, partly because of the sleeping apart.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to get up in the morning and give her wake up hug. And again, cuddling time, we get that done in the other 16, 17 waking hours of the day. So no problem.
And this was an important one that Jeff brought up, because we are not a perfect couple. I make sure everyone knows this. We are not perfect. We get in arguments. We get on each other's nerves. We say the wrong things to each other. We lose each other sometimes. I mean, this is part of being a human, and practicing feminine energy for somebody like me. I mean, I was like a pro A+ ball buster back in the day, and I still can be. I can turn it on when I need to. If I need to, like with a contractor or some sort of business matter, hell hath no fury until you get involved with me. So I know how to turn it on. I have a strong boy energy. Boy energy is not in my relationship. It doesn't manage my relationship. So let's do this quick, and then Jeff's going to talk about what he wanted to talk about. Masculine energy is rules. This is how this rule works. Masculine energy is speculation, like there must be something wrong here. That isn't right. And also remember that a lot of the gender roles we have in society is because they came over here from English literature written by men. All right, so look at your gender roles that have followed throughout history through literature. Okay, it doesn't lie. And then you also have this fear, which puts you into fix-it mode. And men are great at fixing things. They're not as on high alert as women are, but they're great at fixing things. And then this is really about being in your feminine in your relationship, which is freedom. I need my space. You can go over here. I can go over here. I trust that we're going to come back together, right? Curiosity, I'm curious what this will feel like. If I go and have a weekend away with me and my girlfriends and I don't text you every hour and we have space apart, what will that feel like? I'm curious what will happen to our relationship. So you're getting away from rules. The next one is love and healing. This is all about replacing fear with love. And this is a wonderful thing whenever you're having that fear or worry or doubt in your life, or your own situation, you can ask yourself, how can I replace this with love? How can I somehow let this be a healing moment and learn from this? Because every moment matters. Every moment is an opportunity for healing, especially if it triggers you. And sometimes we trigger each other. And back when we shared one bedroom, what used to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we might get into an argument at night, and there's that whole old-fashioned adage, and I think it still holds true, is like, don't go to bed angry with each other or something like this. But that's not always practical. We might just get into an argument at 9 p.m.
Too tired to fix it.
And we couldn't fix it. We didn't want to fix it. I remember going to bed with you, and we're both just stewing, and it's a terrible, terrible feeling. It's a horrible atmosphere, and we don't have to do that. I'm not saying like, oh, now we can just fight at night and no problem. We go to our separate bedrooms, but
it's not a bad idea.
no, but now, if we have something and we're just not really feeling together in the evening, we have that space to retreat to and just think about it, let things simmer down. And
instead of go to the doghouse.
Yeah, instead of going to the doghouse, because I remember I used to just go down to the living room couch and sleep. And that felt awful for me. And you didn't ask me to do that. I did it because simply it felt more like your room, I guess, in a way.
Interesting.
And I didn't have my own room, so I would just be in the doghouse on the living room couch, not getting good sleep, and don't have that issue anymore. And I think, again, it's very healthy for both of us. We wake up in the morning refreshed. We, eventually talk about the situation. We fix it.
Yeah.
To the best of our ability, we move on.
And sometimes after a night's sleep, I just wake up and I know one thing: I love him. Whatever it is, I love him. Or he'll wake up and he'll wake me up by coming to my door, my bedroom door, with some coffee, and we make it better right then and there. So you're getting a lot of really sweet comments.
Thank you.
And thank you, girls.
Sweet.
We just wanted to, share this with you guys, that this isn't something to let your masculine energy creep in and make you fearful of doing something that isn't, what's the word? Like, it isn't what is considered normal or by the rules. Who wrote those rules? Who said it was normal? The world is transitioning from a masculine energy world into a feminine energy world. We're slowing down. There are more women who are college educated. There are more women who are business owners. There are more women now than ever on this planet. So now's your opportunity to really question these things that you think are automatic, because it's really masculine energy.
Yeah, I mean, kind of along those lines, I wanted to say that when we first when we got married, and we moved in together and started sleeping in separate beds, I remember it at first. I thought it was a little weird if I don't know, told a friend or a brother or a contractor came into the house and saw different bedrooms, and we refer to them as my room or her room.
Yeah.
Like I would notice this being part of our life, and like people that would find out about it were actually like a little surprised at first, and then they'd be like, wow, I think that sounds like a great idea. So yeah, I mean, tradition be damned. I hope I can say that on YouTube. I feel like this is your life. This is you and your partner's life, and nobody else. Don't worry about your parents, your friends, what they may think. If you want to explore this, all we know is it can work wonderfully for you, because it does for us. Again, we're not advocating everybody does it. I just, I think there's a lot of positives that can come from it.
All right, that's good. Good, thank you. Kisses. So we had a couple of questions, and I want to just go over them real quick. One girl said, one viewer had asked, how can she tell her guy that she needs space and she wants her own bedroom without hurting his feelings? So first thing I would do is just create your own space, create this room and place that you can have, and just let him know, it feels so good to sleep with you. It feels so good to cuddle up at night, but I feel like I want to have a couple nights on my own. What do you think? What do you think? And just see. And at first, he might not know what to do with himself. He might not know his routine. Not your problem. You go do you and see how wonderful that feels. And then what if he kind of puts up a little bit of defense? Did you have anything you want to say?
No, I feel like just more like, introduce that to the man without being defensive about it. Give a couple reasons, of course, but until you try it, you don't really know. I think it is kind of a foreign idea for a lot of people, and I think like any foreign idea that's new to us, we might rebel at first until we get into it, and then we go, oh, I get it.
But be curious.
Be curious, and
Yeah.
and certainly I think if the girl is the one initiating that, she certainly has to be aware that she needs to make sure that the man knows that intimacy is still very much on her mind.
Which comes to our next
Because
question.
I think that could be the man's first thought is like, oh, she doesn't want to sleep with me.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Which comes to our next question, which is someone just wrote in and said, I have a guy who, I'm trying to remember what she wrote. He always wants her to initiate sex and always wants her to initiate the dates and things like this. My answer to that is, it seems like you have a feminine energy man. And as long as you're initiating it and as long as you're doing the work for him, he's not going to do the work. Okay, and he might say, hey, baby, I love it when you seduce me. I love that men love to be chased. They love to be chased. It doesn't feel good to you. And that's what matters. So a couple of you asked, well, how do I say this? A couple of you said, I didn't know you guys broke up 3 times. I talk all about it in the ABCs to get him back. That's a program over at my website called everheartcoaching.com. It stands for the absolute best chances to get your guy back. It was a video program and it comes with a VIP library. I talk all about it. I talk about everything that happened to us, how long we were apart, why. And this is especially true to you viewers out there who are over 40, because the game does change. The men, the amount of men might feel like it's drying up. You have guys who have a lot of baggage. And, I was able to use some great techniques and tools. I felt like I was an attractive person. I had a lot of love in my heart. I could not keep my relationships. They were full of just arguments and torment and things like that. And so, that's not really, that was me and my masculine energy because I was battling the man. And someone asked, who gets the master bedroom?
Yeah, I was going to address that in a couple
Both
other
of our
questions I've
bedrooms
seen.
are huge.
Both of our bedrooms are huge. I think technically you have the master.
I think
But look,
technically I have
my
the
bedroom
bathroom.
is sufficient. I also have a music room for listening, and that's my master, right? I am so happy to have that. So I have my space.
And
I
he
have
has a
nothing
whole
to complain
room
about.
with a record player.
A hi-fi system. I listen in this room. This is just a music theater. What more could I ask for? So I don't have the master. I'll take this instead.
But I got the big bathroom.
She got the big
Who
bathroom.
won? Who won on that one?
I saw another
also have an
question.
office.
Sorry, I
Yes.
saw another question earlier. Like, well, if we have separate rooms, that what my man will be tempted to text other women and go on porn sites. Well, that has nothing to do with having separate bedrooms. That has to do with your man not being mature enough to in his development. Because if he needs to or wants to do this, he's going to do it some other time. When
He's
you're
gonna
gone
do it
in the
anyway.
afternoon, I don't think the evening or having separate bedrooms is going to
And you don't.
is a factor there.
Yeah, and
I
you don't want to
wouldn't even-
sleep with him in your bedroom so you can keep him under lockdown.
Well, right. I mean,
That's not a
right.
relationship you want to be
Right.
having, where you can't go out of town.
There's a deeper issue there,
There's a deeper
and
issue.
that has nothing to do with separate bedrooms. So I mean, that's my opinion. But somebody said it's about maturity. I think that was just what I was trying to explain. I think when I was younger, it seemed unthinkable to not sleep with a partner.
I hear you.
You know, like it just
I
was
hear
because
ya.
of what you did. It was,
That's right.
as you say, it was tradition. It was
Yep.
age-old tradition. But
I remember going over to a boyfriend's house and learning that his mom and dad slept in separate bedrooms. And I'm like, oh, they're going to be getting a divorce any day now. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, no, my dad snores and my mom can't sleep. And I'm just like, that makes total sense. And then I started doing it, with, when I finally moved in with one of my boyfriends, we had separate space. And I was like, I totally get this. Like, I totally get this. It's great if you have a partner that you can sleep with at night and not disturb each other. That's wonderful. But I am a super light sleeper. I am the world's most vigilant sleeper, and I have to work on it. I have to sleep with earplugs in. And you can tell I live near downtown. You can hear a train going by. Yes, my city still has trains in it. Someone said, do we sleep in separate bedrooms every night? Just about.
Just about.
Just about.
And you know
every
what?
night.
That question brought up something for me, which we haven't even discussed yet, which
Huh.
is that when we travel and we're in hotel
Oh, God.
rooms, more than once, I have taken the couch or taken a rollout bed
Yeah,
because of the same
I
issues:
can.
snoring, just not being on the same schedule, not sleeping the same way. And again, on these trips, we have been able to cuddle and be intimate and be together and hold hands everywhere we go. I think we're a very hand-holding couple.
Oh, people think that we're on our first date
Yeah.
when we're out together.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes
so.
we'll have people like look at us and go, like, are you guys on your first date or something like that? We've had it
You must have-
happen
you
a
must have
couple of
just
times.
met.
Or you must have just met.
No,
And we're
I've
like,
known her for years
Yeah.
and years. But yeah, when we travel, we'll try to sleep together, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. So I think for some couples, it's just not going to be natural, and for some couples, I guess it will be. We know a couple
Yeah.
people who are happily married, sleep in the same small bed. I don't know how they do it, but they do.
tiny
and
beds, big
more
people.
more power
on
to them.
tiny
We've
beds.
never talked to them about changing that because it works for them.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Someone just asked, first of all, how long we've been married. We have been married going on 3 years.
Over 3 years.
Sorry, over 3 years. We've been together, like, of course, longer than that. And again, over 40 is, it's different. You don't fall in love with someone and marry them because of how hot they are and all these other things that happened in your 20s and maybe even your 30s. I fell in love with Jeff and became more attracted to him because he wasn't really what my type I was going for in my youth, but he treated me so good. Just the other day, he was recollecting on our first few dates. And the first few dates, he came over to my house and I was actually fixing things around my house. He painted the roof of my porch. He fixed a door knob in my house where, I had like a bad incident happen with it. And, just he came in and started healing my life. And that's what a good masculine energy man's going to do when you let that guy, into your life and you are in your feminine receiving energy. Yes.
Somebody said he died inside when you said about not being attracted. I didn't die inside.
You didn't die inside.
No. I'm completely okay with it.
Completely attractive and hot to me. Let me tell you what. It's just that I was going for a different type.
That's fair.
Ladies
Yeah,
out there,
that's fair.
you have a certain type of man. I hear it all the time. So you have a certain type of man that you're going for. He needs to drive a certain type of car and have, certain clothes or certain this or certain that. And Jeff was unlike, I was used to this buttoned up type. And when I met Jeff, he had a lot of concert shirts and he worked in the music industry and he had long hair. And I was like, this guy is so new and different. But I realized actually, when I was younger, I was all about going to live shows and attending music events and things like this. And I knew people in the music industry. And so it was sort of like I was a closeted person that I actually know a lot about music. I know way more about music than I ever thought I did until I met, this guy who's been writing about music since he was like 15 years old. He was the editor for a really famous music magazine for years. He's worked for Sony was a company that he worked for more recently. So I got a guy that was different than what I was looking for in my 20s and my 30s. So it wasn't what I normally went after. And that's why I tell you guys about dating the non-applicable man. That's a man that you're not really like, and I broke up with you, didn't I? We had been going out for about a month, and I said, that's it. I don't want to date you anymore. I don't want to see you anymore, right? And about a couple of weeks went by, and he was on a television show, and he had wanted me to come over to his house and watch him be on this television show about music. And I was like, no, I'm not. It's, I can't see you anymore, and don't call me, right? You remember?
Oh, absolutely.
And he sent me the link for the show, and I watched it, and I was like, sitting at home alone, having a glass of rosé, and I was like, why the hell am I not dating this guy? What is wrong with me? And I just had this moment where I was like, what is this expectation I have of who this person should be when this guy's been coming over to my house, bringing me Thai food, fixing things around my house. He's fun, warm, wants to make love to me all the time. I'm like, what's wrong with me? So ladies, date outside of what is traditionally attractive to you. Try something different. You really don't give up on guys and pass so quick and next. You got to embrace those triggers, because those triggers are moments for you to learn from. And that moment matters. I've said that more than once in this conversation. So that moment matters. Anything else?
I've seen a couple questions about having children. That doesn't apply to us. Personally, I'm glad we don't have children. But I also look at our 7 animals, our 5 cats and 2 dogs, as our children. And somebody was asking how would children perceive separate bedrooms. In the case of our animals, because we can't speak to having children, in the case of our animals, it's also great. And I just want to bring that up because you like to sleep with Toki, your dog, sometimes JT. I like to sleep with cats. I like to sleep with cats, and there's a certain cat that I sleep with that you don't like to because she sheds.
I do not like this cat.
And I would miss the hell out of not being able to sleep with her. So I guess I sleep more with my cat than I do with you.
Yeah,
so.
and I have to tell, yeah. How old is she now?
9.
9, okay. We used to joke because we had a cat that was 17, and I would joke, you're sleeping with a 17-year-old, his 17-year-old cat. Anyway, I actually wanted to find a guy that didn't have kids. I wanted a guy with no kids, no piercings, no tattoos, didn't hunt. I had a lot of things and I teach a class called New Man Manifesto, where I teach you how to align with that energy of what it is you want in a guy. And one of the things about my dating profile that really caught him was I said, if you have a dating profile of you and a 10-point buck, I'm not interested. I just didn't want a guy who was like this hunter type,
Yeah, so not me.
And I really encourage you all to get specific. And I didn't really want to have children. We still kind of wax and wane. We sometimes go a little bit back and forth. Jeff grew up in a family that had a lot of foster children. He has an adopted brother. His parents were really loving and generous when it came to that. And, the game ain't over for us, y'all. So, but for right now, we have our rescue animals, and we will do whatever we want to do. We just want to do it for the right reasons.
Which gets right back to the sleeping together
Which gets
thing.
right back to the sleeping together. Mm-hmm. How so?
Well, we do what we want to do. Again, I think it's about bucking
do.
tradition. And again, I think the first time anybody confronts this in their relationship or marriage as a possibility or a thing, it seems odd. And it seems odd to people who haven't thought about this before yet in practice. And, it works really well.
I was laughing at the last question, sorry.
What was the last question?
Someone said, what about you, Jeff? What were you looking for in a woman? Ladies, let me tell you what, men go on dates. Men go on dates for completely different reasons. Women go on a date going, I might find love. A man goes on a date going, I might get laid. And then perchance, if something happens, he may fall in love. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, they say, what's the saying? Men fall in love with who they sleep with, and women sleep with who they fall in love with. Isn't that? I've heard that before. And I
Well
think, the
said.
man is definitely more primal oriented.
Oh, really?
And women tend to be a little more emotional. But what was your question?
So
were
were
asking
you,
what
were the someone asked, oh, someone wants to know if you're a Prince fan.
I was. I have a deep, deep, deep appreciation for Prince, and there's a handful of songs that I think are incredible. I have yet to get the true Prince bug
getting there.
that you have and that my friend has.
He's getting there. But anyway,
but,
what
yeah.
were you looking for when you were out on the dating scene? Be honest.
Somebody to enjoy the simple things with, like going to the movies, having a dinner, laughing with, walking with. Seriously, I like that stuff. I love doing that with a woman who I'm attracted to and who is attracted to me. But yes, also the physical thing. You told me not to say certain words because
Oh, yeah,
this
we
certain
can't.
channel will
Yeah, we
delete us.
can't say.
But certainly, yeah.
But don't guys, you're kind of going out and you're like, I might get lucky.
Hey, look, if
might
that
happen.
if that girl is attractive and there's sexual in any way,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
Now, what if,
I am a man. I apologize, or I don't apologize. Actually,
you're so funny. What if on the first night when we went out, what if I would have slept with you that night? Would you called me the next day? I mean, would you have called me and kept dating me? Or would you have kind of,
I mean, that's such a hypothetical. I don't know.
but in general,
No.
men, yeah,
So go ahead. Say no. You're the coach.
But generally in men don't, if they sleep with a girl too soon, it's kind of like,
True.
they lose respect.
True. Although I'm not. I don't know. And I'm not. I know you're not saying this, but I'm not like a prude where it's like, I'm just looking for the one night stand, and that girl couldn't possibly have any longevity with me.
Okay.
I'll give that a chance, and I think.
Alright.
I don't know. We're animals. Sometimes we just can't help ourselves, and that certainly you wouldn't want to throw away
Yeah.
something wonderful. But on the whole, no. I would rather the girl wait
Ah, interesting.
because a
Interesting.
man is going to jump at that 9 times out
Oh,
of 10.
yeah, that's what they're going for. That's what they're pushing for. And then, that's what I teach you in all my programs is how to have your boundaries, how to speak them with your feminine energy. And
I'll tell you, I'm way more impressed when a woman declines for the first few dates, and she's the one that is allowing the man into her body.
she's setting the pacing.
Yeah, I like that better.
Right.
I mean, I will look at that
High
woman.
value.
Yes, I will look at that woman with more respect, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I talked a couple of my programs up in this.
Kissing passion the first date, no sex. Yes, I think that happened with us. So. Did it? Sorry, you don't want me here. I'm having
We
fun
did
with these.
have. Okay, like I tell you guys, kiss guys, as long as it's safe or whatever, kiss them because something changes when you kiss. I really believe this. If a guy's kind of like not your type, but then you kiss them, something does happen or it doesn't happen. So I really think kiss more guys. Kiss more guys. Get up to them. You got to get up to them and smell them and see how they smell and feel how they feel against your body. Feel how they feel against your body. And something, will begin to change in you. Because when we're in our masculine energy, it's so easy to say, doesn't work, don't like this. He wore these type of shoes. He drives a Honda Accord. I'm looking for, it's so easy to do that. So remember, the game has changed. You're no longer 22 anymore. This is something that, it's about how a person treats you. All right. So we could clearly talk all day.
And we won't, but I did see 2 questions in a row that
Okay.
we have to address.
Yes.
Nobody said that you should go out and kiss a bunch of guys during COVID. Somebody was kind of sarcastic, I think, saying that. We're not saying that.
Well, look,
Duh.
hey,
we're in a pandemic, people.
It's
Don't
your
be going
choice.
out. Sure.
If your
Well,
intellect
you wanna do that.
tells you to do that, I'm not one to tell you. You know what's best for you, and I'll leave it at that. Anyway,
Look who it is.
look who's making a visit. Our
Talk about
mini
kissing.
girl. Oh,
I kiss
yes.
her during COVID all the time. COVID kisses for my kitty.
Hi, Minnie. Hi. She's a little superstar around our house, I'll tell you what. This is like equivalent of our child. So anyway, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I talked about my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, which is an ebook. It comes with a 2-day video class, and you can learn all about how to really say things and get into your feminine energy body. Remember, feminine is a much different place than masculine energy. It's okay to have masculine energy. We just don't want masculine energy running the relationship, because then you'll be at war with your guy. So 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, great ebook. And then ABCs to Get Him Back, the absolute best chances. This is a program I created shortly after we got married. We had gone through 3 terrible breakups. I mean, bad stuff, lots of sadness. You know, each time it was really, really so difficult. Oh, hi, Brittany. And, you know, it was just so good to be able to create this program, because I understood heartbreak so well. A lot of you know about the artist. The artist was in between my husband and in between Jeff. This guy really, really did a number on my head and my heart. So go check out those programs. I'll post the links below. And thank you. More videos with Jeff, maybe so. But thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you, and you know, do what feels right. Give this video a little thumbs up if you like it. I would love to get to 100 thumbs up, and this way more women can learn about feminine energy and what it is I teach. Anything else?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for considering.
Thanks
the
for
thing we talked
considering.
about.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. These comments are so sweet. Bye, everybody. I don't know how to turn it off. There it is. Okay, bye.